watching the Live Today show. This is an interactive show on CAN TV 21. We are also streaming live on cantv.org/hotline. Now, the next 25 minutes is your opportunity to call in with your questions or comments. Please feel free to call the number at the bottom of your screen. That number is 312-738-1060. Again, that number is 312-738-1060. I am Dr. Sheri Prentiss, lovingly known as simply Dr. Sheri. I am the founder of the Live Today Foundation, where we aim to provide joy, inspiration, and free compression garments to breast cancer survivors who are under-resourced or underserved. And I want you guys, please be aware, I want you guys to follow us. Get to our website and take a look at us at www.livetoday.org. You can also email us at info@livetoday-org. And you can always give us a call at 754-220-0234. And we want you guys to follow us on our social media sites. We want you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All of them at livetoday.org. That is livetoday.org. And hey guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Live Today. You're going to find copies of pre-recorded videos of our show and some additional educational resource videos that I have lined up and planned for you. Now, I am joined today by this beautiful woman right here, Miss Yvette Saunders. This woman is a dynamite. She is a technology professional, and currently she is serving as a project delivery specialist for one of the largest health care providers here in this country. Thank you again, Yvette, for being willing to come on our show and to share your knowledge with our audience. We're so grateful. We're going to hear from her in a second. But I wanted to also remind you guys of our three primary goals of Live Today. One, we want to educate healthcare professionals about how to properly diagnose lymphedema and to make them aware of the psychosocial impact that lymphedema has on a survivor's life. Secondly, we want to educate patients about the importance of treatment and to make them aware of all of their treatment options. And then lastly, we want to be able to provide free compression garments to breast cancer survivors who are under-resourced and underserved. So we really, really need your help. So again, please go out to our website at www.live-today.org to find out more how you can support our organization. Now I want to just jump right in with Miss Yvette. Now, and don't forget, this is an interactive show. So we want you to call in with your questions or comments. Please call in. That number is at the bottom of your screen at 312-738-1060. Now, Yvette.
Yes.
You have an undergraduate degree in training and organizational development from DeVry. You also have several technology certifications from University of Chicago. This girl ain't playing. Graham School of Business, Baker University, and DePaul University. But I've known you for quite some time, and I know that some of these accomplishments came during great adversity in your life. Can you share with our audience when were you diagnosed and what treatment did you undergo?
So I was diagnosed in 2001.
Okay.
And it actually, the diagnosis came in October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Mm-hmm. So I'd gone in for an exam that at the age of 32 possibly wasn't on the radar, but I thought I felt something, so I decided to go in and check it out. Mm-hmm. I had the exam. They told me that I was fine. Mm-hmm. They didn't see anything. Go live your life, be happy.
Okay.
I went back to my office and I got a call from the chief radiologist. She said she happened to be on lunch and picked up my film wanted something to look at, and she saw something at the very edge of the film that didn't look right, and she wanted me to come back the next day so she could focus in a little bit more under my armpit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So this could be thanks to a board radiologist who decides to look at films while she's having lunch.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I go back, she focuses in with a more diagnostic, I believe it would be, mammogram and an ultrasound, and she did in fact find some irregularities in the x-ray, and she wanted to right then at that moment go ahead and do a biopsy.
Wow.
So she did the biopsy that afternoon, and now I'm getting nervous because I'm like, the other day you just tell me I'm fine.
Yes.
Now you're like fast tracking all this stuff.
Correct.
So she did the biopsy, and she told me she would have the results the next day. So I go home and I get the call that they did in fact find cancer. So I went in and found out that there was hope that we could just do a lumpectomy. But unfortunately, I think I went in 2 or 3 times, but all of the margins were cancer.
Oh, wow. So they could never get a clean...
They couldn't get a clean excision. So I was then told the best option for my age for survival would be to have the mastectomy.
Okay.
Which I did. There was no question. I had an 8-year-old at the time, so I'm like, let's do what we got to do. I'm trying to be here. So
now, were you married at the time, or were you a single parent?
I was not. I was a single parent. So that also was something that came into to my thoughts.
Yes.
Thinking about who would be around. My mom's older, so if something were to happen to me, who would take care of my daughter?
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that I took advantage of whatever treatment options they had available that would give me my best chances. So we went with the mastectomy. Then we talked about 6 rounds of chemotherapy and then radiation.
Okay.
So once they went in to do the mastectomy, they also checked for lymph nodes and did find several lymph nodes were positive.
Okay.
So I had those removed, but as a result of having those removed, they did explain that, part of the role of the lymph nodes is to carry fluids throughout your body, and having them removed would actually slow down some of the movement of the fluid, which would cause some swelling. So I'm sure you know all the medical terminology.
Yes.
I'm just talking from a layman's perspective.
But listen to the beauty of that, because one of the things that Live Today does is to educate physicians and other healthcare practitioners on how to properly diagnose. You were one of the anomalies, much like I was, because a lot of times physicians don't explain it to that degree. They may say, oh, you got a 1 to 2% chance of getting lymphedema. The percentage that was based on way long ago studies, but it also is not true. But then since they explained that to you that it could occur, that was a blessing. So at least you knew what to look out for. And guys, listen, I really need you to pay attention, and please get out there and go out to our website, because there are additional resources for you on our website. Go to the website, that is www.live-today.org. Please shoot us an email with your questions, your comments, your concerns, or if you're interested in being a volunteer and just want to support, email us at info@live-today.org, and certainly you can feel free to call our office at 754-220-0234. Now, back to Annette. Miss Annette, tell us. So now, did you go through the chemo and radiation? You did all of that? Okay.
I did the chemo instantly. I think they were giving me a pretty strong cocktail of IV therapy, and I think with the first treatment, I probably lost the majority of my hair from the first treatment. So I think at the time I was wearing like cornrows, and my sister came over and she was like, well, how's your hair? And I was like, I don't know. I got these braids.
That's right.
Let's take one out and see what happens. So as we started taking the braids down, my hair just started coming out. And
Same
it was
here.
it was so patchy that I was like, you know what, just cut it off.
Just cut it off.
But it's just hair.
So your physician prepared you that there could be swelling down the line because they removed the lymph nodes. You go through the treatment, some of the same similar side effects as myself and many patients who undergo chemo and radiation. Tell me, when did lymphedema begin to set in for you?
I would probably say, with me being naive, probably sooner than I actually noticed. Because I'm not a small girl. So I've just thought, oh, I'm getting the grandma arms.
The grandma.
So I wasn't really realizing until it came into the lower part of my arm. And then like bracelets that I was wearing on this arm, they
too tight or
too
couldn't
tight.
fit.
And then so prior to that, like I wasn't wearing a compression garment or anything because I thought I was fine.
Correct.
So it wasn't until I noticed that I couldn't wear certain bracelets or that certain blouses I could no longer fit on my arm.
Yes.
So that's when I went back and I talked and I was like, okay, now what's this lymphedema thing that you were talking about? And so then when we put the two arms out together and just looked at like my wrists, you saw the difference. And so I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like now what do I need to do? So they talked to me about the compression garments. So we had someone come out and fit me for a compression garment. And so there's one for the hand that normally I wear, as well as a sleeve. For the arm. I also got one that I think you jokingly, we call it the oven mitt.
Right.
You're
the
sleeping,
oven mitt.
You sleep in the oven mitt.
Yes.
Because that's what it looks like.
It looks like an oven mitt. Yes.
But it goes over your hand and up to here. So it's more comfortable. It's not as tight as the compression garment that you're wearing.
Correct.
But it gives you some support and helping with your circulation while you sleep at night.
While you're sleeping.
So I had that.
Now, before we go on, we have a caller.
Oh.
All right. You mind taking the...
Sure.
Let's listen. Okay, so here we have a caller online. Caller, can you please tell us your name and your question or comment?
Hi, my name is Shannon, and I do have a question about the lymphedema. I know you guys were talking about the compression sleeve, and that helps it, but is there anything else that you could do to help it from getting worse, or are there things that you should avoid doing that will kind of help out?
Okay.
Help with the lymphedema?
That's a good question.
It is.
Thank you, Shannon. And yes, actually there is. So some of the things that the doctor advised for me was to not put as much pressure on the arm that I had lymphedema in, because again, the circulation of the fluid had already slowed down because there were less lymph nodes working on this side. So any added pressure would just slow down the circulation even more, which is what caused further swelling. So I tried to monitor things like not lifting heavy bags with this arm or carrying anything heavy with this arm. When working out, not using weights that are too heavy, not going over like 25 pounds is what the doctor recommended. When I fly, I make sure I wear the compression garment because of the compression on the plane that can cause swelling. I learned that once because I forgot it. And then when I got to my destination, I
paid the price.
Paid the price. So making sure to do that. And then there's also a machine, and I don't use it now, but in the beginning I did. And it's kind of like... it's almost like a blood pressure monitor,
Yes.
but it goes down the entire arm. And I used to just sit and watch television with it on, and it just sort of circulates and massages the fluid through my arm. So those things all helped me in the beginning, and I think were very instrumental in helping my swelling not to become as bad as some other patients. So like, I don't really have it in my hand. I was able to maintain mine just in the lower arm.
Wonderful.
So, but that was a great question. Thank you.
Shannon, did
Can I
that
ask
answer
one
your
more
question?
It did. I do have another question. Now, do you wear your sleeve all the time?
Ooh, Shannon, you just put me on the spot.
One of us just got busted. I'm just saying.
I do not, and that I do not recommend that for anyone, because again, I think that I could have minimized my swelling even more if I was more diligent, like Dr. Sheri, with wearing mine. I don't see her anywhere. I don't see a picture of her. that she doesn't have on a sleeve of some color, blinged out or whatever. But I do not recommend that you don't. I probably sleep in the one that I refer to as the oven mitt more than I do the compression one, because it is, to be honest, until you get comfortable with wearing it and it's part of your everyday routine, it's tight and you know
Okay. Okay.
But it's recommended. But no, I don't. But thank you. Now
Okay.
everybody knows that. Thanks.
Shannon, thank you so much for calling into the show. And since we were able to answer your questions to your satisfaction, would you please spread the word about Live Today? Have individuals go out to our website. Have individuals, in addition to going out to the website, to feel free to let us know what are their thoughts or questions or concerns by emailing us at info@live-today.org and also giving us a call at 754-220-0234. And again, please feel free to have them follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at livetoday.org, and that is Live Today, DOTORG. Now, we want to go back to, we have to go back to Miss Yvette, because Miss Yvette, one of the great things that Shannon allowed us to share is that there are some things that we can do as prophylaxis when we know that we've had surgery, we've had lymph nodes removed, to wear compression garments when you're going to fly, wear compression garments when you're going to exercise. And then if you move on to stage 1 and stage 2, then you have to be more diligent. Even if you're not exercising and not flying, you need to wear it on a daily basis. And she's right. The oven mitt, although it's an oven mitt, it's uncomfortable, you know, very difficult to be spontaneous. I mentioned that before during certain times. But it doesn't, since you're sleeping, its compression doesn't hinder you from opening up glass drawers and trying to, take your clothes off and put them back on. But tell me this, what treatment options did your physician recommend for you once you were officially diagnosed with lymphedema?
Basically, it was the machine actually was the first thing. So before I got the sleeve fitted for the sleeves, I was told that there was this machine. Again, it's similar to the blood pressure. I don't know the proper name for it, but I liken it to the blood pressure sleeve that you put on when you're having your blood pressure taken.
It's a pneumatic device.
A pneumatic device. There you go. So it goes down the entire arm, and again, I would sit and watch television with it on, and it would just it would get tight, and then it would relax tight, and it was helping with the flow of the fluid in my arm. So that was the first recommendation. Again, just the everyday things of the weight limit, not holding my arm in a certain direction too long. Even something as simple as, if you were going to get a massage, like that's not something that you can just go out and have anyone do. Now that when I go for a spa day or something like that, I actually ask for someone who is a specialist.
There we go.
Or familiar with lymphedema.
That is a great point.
Because you can actually do more damage.
You can do more damage and make it worse. Okay, people are loving this show because we have another caller. Caller, can you please tell us your name and let us know what your question or comment is?
Sure. My name is Dennis, and I have a question for you. I'm wondering what your experience has been or what you think about products they sell that have turmeric, and I can't even pronounce it, curcumin or something like that in it, that are supposed to help deal with inflammation for, I know a lot of people who have these lymphedema or swelling issues. There's inflammation that goes along with that, and, you can only take so much aspirin or over-the-counter stuff. And there's a lot of advertisements for these products. Again, they contain turmeric, which I think is a spice. And I think the other one, curcumin, is also a spice. But have you had any experience with anybody taking those products, whether they really do help? Because I think
yes.
a lot of men get the same issues with and we all have lymphatic systems.
Correct.
So I'll get off the line, I guess, and listen to your response.
Well, you don't have to get off the line to listen.
okay.
Yes, I do have personal experience with turmeric and curcumin. In addition, I also use ginger root. All of those are natural herbs that have been shown to decrease inflammation and provide you additional antioxidants. And so anything that you can do, especially from a natural perspective, that is going to work on decreasing your inflammation, you want to try to take advantage of, because lymphedema really is a result of inflammation in your extremity that did not have an opportunity to clear itself normally as the immune system would do because of the damage to the lymph nodes. So I tell all of my patients, even if it's not lymphedema, if it was an additional form, some other form of inflammation, turmeric and curcumin and ginger root, you cannot go wrong. So thank you for bringing that up, because one of the whole reasons for the show is telling patients all of their treatment options, right? And so naturopathic opportunities is another form of being able to treat patients naturally.
Can you tell me, hello, am I still on the air?
Yes, you are.
Can you tell me where does the lymphatic system extend? I mean, I know, like, if you go to the dentist or a doctor, they kind of like squeeze around your throat to see if there's any swelling, and that. Where does that extend from? Basically, the area that you swallow?
No, you have your lymphatic system runs throughout your entire body.
Okay.
You have lymph nodes in the neck, in the chest, in the abdomen, in the groin area, down into your lower extremities. Your lymphatic system is part of your immune system. So when that's compromised, you got to do something to take care of it.
Sure.
I appreciate you calling in, Dennis. Will you call back in at another show? Bye, Dennis. Thank you so much. Okay, now we have just 4 minutes left in the show. And I want Yvette to tell us briefly, how has Live Today helped you? How have we been a help to you?
Well, for one, it's helped me to feel more comfortable with talking and sharing information about my experience, listening and watching how you are sharing information with others, and the questions that you get, the response that you're getting from your audience has helped me to want to reach out, share, and it also pushes me to remember that I'm supposed to be wearing my protection. You know, when I'm not.
Exactly.
Because it's only helping, like I said, to make to decrease the swelling and benefit me in the long run. But again, I think the bigger thing, is that awareness of just keeping it out there and sharing the information with others that don't know. And like the gentleman that just called and asked about the turmeric and those other things, that's all great. And those are things that the first round of cancer, I didn't have those issues.
We didn't.
But,
right.
Mine did come back in 2017. And so the treatment that I'm taking now did cause a lot of soreness and swelling. And I am, in addition to the prescribed medications, I'm taking about 7 over-the-counter herbal supplements, and ginger root and turmeric, apple cider vinegar. Those are in there.
Correct.
And they've helped greatly with cramping and swelling in my lower extremities.
And that's important for us to know. Yvette, your story is truly one of faith, of courage, and of hope. And I so thank you for sharing your story. This woman is super talented. I want her to give me one line of "You are so beautiful." One line, and then I won't have her talk anymore. Hey, Deb.
Ooh,
come on, do it. Come on now. We only have.
You are so beautiful to me.
Oh, thank you.
See?
That's so beautiful. Girl, you beautiful too. That was just my shameless plug of
give me
a compliment. But listen, guys, look, we want you guys to make sure, please, go out to our website, follow us, find out ways that you can support us and be of a help to us at live-today.org. Email us at info@live-today.org and call us at 754-220-0234. Please don't forget to follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at livetoday.org. That is live today, DOT And don't forget, subscribe to our Live Today page, right? You gotta subscribe because we have some great information out there for you. We thank you so much for tuning in to us today. You guys have been, you're part of our support system. And I want you guys, I gotta thank my co-producers, Ms. Karen Roberts, Ms. Carlisa Scott, and certainly Vibes for hooking us up. And I want you guys to remember, you gotta be present, take charge of your life,
Yes.
and please live every day. You guys have a blessed evening. Take care, and we'll see you next month, March 13th. Bye-bye.